And welcome to our weekly Icarus Patchnotes discussion. A bit later, but we are here. I'm here with Carlos. I'm gonna quickly swap over to Discord. Hey my man, how you doing?
Pretty toasty, and how are you?
Doing not too bad. A tad warm, but hey, summertime's
Indeed.
here. What else would you expect, right?
Indeed, it is pretty warm, but we
Yeah,
have some gaming to do. So
yeah,
first things first, we're gonna crack into the patch notes.
exactly. We are in week 185, and the boss items from the missions are buffed and balanced. Boss items being Sandworm gear and armor, Scorpion gear and armor, Black Wolf, and
Cave worm.
Caveworm. So, boss items from the original mission trees have been updated, increasing their stats to align with newer gear. We're talking about the power creep of those items last week already. So yeah, they were overdue for a for a balance.
Yep.
So this week we are completing part 2 of revising mission rewards by improving the baseline stats of the items you receive when completing some of the original mission chains. This includes Sandworm, Scorpion, Black Wolf and Cave Worm armor, weapons and tools. We've also got a new Great Hunts freebies from our art team for you to download and use. So this week, better boss items. This week we're making substantial improvements to a range of mission rewards, specifically the gear you earn for a few missions that have been around since the early days of Icarus. Now, through the course of 185 weeks of updates and expansions, new gear has scaled in all applicable categories to leave a lot of the original gear lagging behind and being unviable for use outside of display only. This realistically does not make completing these missions chains very rewarding, something that we wanted to address so that all the in-game content feels enjoyable and worth your investment. Now the gear updates as follows. Cave room gear. The knife durability has been tripled from 2500 to 7500. Spear durability is almost doubled from 5k to 8k. The spear and the crit damage are increased from 10% to 15%. Now Caveworm gear has received buffs for the knife, spear and arrows. Knife durability has the most significant improvement, tripling to 7500, making it viable as a multi-purpose tool that won't wear out as quickly. Indeed, it was a nice looking knife, but it got destroyed pretty quickly. Now at least it lasts 3 times as long.
Yep, definitely an improvement. I mean, you were able to skin, I think, higher tier than the stone one. I think it was on par
Yeah,
of like an iron, if I can't recall correctly.
yeah, it was a tier 2
So
knife.
yeah, so it was pretty well, not easy because it was mission locked, obviously, and still pretty much is. So, but just for
Um,
ease of it.
well, all those unlocks are now character wide, sorry, account wide instead of character wide.
Yeah, but I'm perceiving it from an individual that never ran any missions and starting anew kind of thing. So, oh, I'm
True.
running missions. Oh, I need to craft an iron knife. Oh, I crafted an iron knife. Oh, I finished all the chain. I get to the mission where there's cave worms involved, and then you have the ability to craft the cave worm, which is still applicable because you can probably go into a cave, kill a cave worm, craft the knife much quicker than you would, by getting a smelter up and running in
So
the more
yeah, for
conventional sense that you used to drop down to planet and run missions sense.
so here's the thing: you need to go into caves to get iron. Caves have cave worms, so you kill cave
Correct.
worms before you have an iron knife. However, first-time players who have never run the sandworm mission yet, the cave worm mission, sorry,
Yes, I know.
do not have the cave worm gear unlocked.
Correct. But that's
Every
exactly what I'm saying.
subsequent character, though, you can make the cave worm knife about the same time you can make the iron knife. Cave worm knife does do the poison damage, so it is nice if you are a melee-based character.
like I said, it's got its pros and cons. It's just
Oh,
about practicality for me,
true.
personally speaking. And if there was, if making an iron knife was much more resource intensive and difficult, then there would be more use to this. But obviously, once
Well,
you have iron,
depends on where you make the cave or knife. Because for the iron knife you need the anvil, which on itself is already 40 ingots.
true, 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 true. So yeah, it really just
So yeah.
depends. And there's some missions that you used to drop down that you didn't want to do any type of crafting and smelting. So just being able to quickly craft a sandworm knife is much easier, or a caveworm knife. But yeah, it's like I
If
said.
you can make it in a
Yep.
crafting bench and if you don't need the anvil
Yes,
for it.
that's correct. You could, as far as I recall. In fact, you
Good.
could have crafted on your person because you repair it on your person. So it's like a bone knife, I think. I
Uh,
think. I might be mistaken, but yeah.
I don't know, been too long since I made one actually. But anyway, let's move to the sandworm gear. Sandworm gear has been moved from tier 2 to tier 3. Can no longer be crafted on the tier 2 bench, you need a tier 3 bench. Um, Knife damage has increased from 65 to 75, so there's about 15% increase.
Damage-wise, that can stack up pretty quickly, so that's a decent buff.
Exactly. The yield has been increased from 175 to 225% yield. Nice.
Really nice, because 225 is basically top tier, basically, as far as I remember.
Quite high yield indeed. The durability has increased massively from 5k to 22k.
That is a significant buff.
Yeah, more than a caveworm, but then again, sandworm is a tier 3 one, so
True, but I still think that's higher than iron and pretty much up there in comparison with other knives. I need to double check how much the platinum knife has or the titanium knife, but I think obviously titanium has more, but that's still impressive.
yeah. Spear damage has been increased from 60 to 75, there's a 25% increase there. The spear durability has been increased from 15 to 25k, it's a 33% increase. Spear crit damage has been increased from 10 to 25%.
Fairly significant, yeah.
Bow damage, sandworm bow, from 50% to 75%. Nice increase.
Mm-hmm.
Durability has been increased from 8.5 to 15k. The arrows got a rework as well. The damage was increased from 60 to 85. The arrow break chance has been decreased from 20% to 15%, so you lose your arrows less often. And arrow crit damage has been doubled from 10% to 20%. Now, Sandworm gear was one of the biggest culprits of being severely underpowered for the time investment required to collect it. As such, damage, durability, yield and more have been buffed to the knife, spear, bow and arrows. Um, a sandworm is not too hard to take out if you have a proper knife and you know the attack pattern, the single spin, double spin attack pattern. But yeah, it does cost you a bit of time if you go in with knife, and also it takes out a fair chunk of your knife. Still, for me, it's still one of the easiest to kill, one of the easiest bosses. But yeah, it does cost a bit of investment in time and materials to actually kill Sandworm. I mean, you can go in guns blazing and then you have it down in no time as well. But then you stay distance and you have to keep an eye out for the spitting, take your green pills and such.
Yep.
Black Wolf gear also been moved to tier 3. Knife damage has been increased from 55, which was less than the sandworm, to 70, which is still less than the sandworm, so sandworm knife is still better, damage wise. It got the same yield increase from 175 to 225%. And the durability has been given a massive increase, whereas Sandworm knife durability was 5 to 22k, this one is 2.5 to 22k, so almost 10 times.
I never actually even crafted or played with the Black Wolf gear, so I
It does
never
do
used any of it.
the hemorrhaging damage.
Yeah, but I just can't recall any of it. I think I just completely skipped it because it was garbage, and that was
Yeah,
pretty much how
again
it
with
worked.
the
So
low durability and lackluster damage. Yeah. The arrow damage has been massively increased as well, from 20 to 75. Slightly lower than the sandworm again. And the arrow break chance, oh man, that got buffed. It had a 90% break chance before, now it has a 15. So only 25% of what it was before. And actually, the break chance is lower than the one of the sandworm. So yeah, it does do slightly less damage. However, uh, oh sorry, the same as the sandworm. It has the same break chance now as the sandworm, 15% only.
yes,
Now the Black Wolf knife was in need of a large durability boost, and it got it. We have given it an 8.8 times boost to 25 to 22k durability, and a small increase to damage and yield also. Black Wolf arrows have also received a massive buff. Damage has increased by 3.75 times, and the break chance has decreased by 75% from 90 to 15. Very nice. Now when it comes to the Sandworm and the Scorpion armors, they are both tier 3 now, the armors. Uh, they got a minor resistance increases across the board. They no longer use fiber to craft. The Sandworm armor uses bone instead, and the Scorpion armor uses cured leather instead. To bring it in line with, a bit more in line with tier 3 armors.
makes sense.
Now Sandworm armor added 20% poison resist to the base armor and 25% health regen in the desert. Mark, the desert does not state anything about volcanic, but the desert armor set. Then again, volcanic is Prometheus. Prometheus has one singular sandworm, and that was in the mission we recently did. So
Yep.
there isn't a whole lot of sandworm stuff to go around anyway. But yeah, 25% health regen in the desert. That is a nice one. Especially if you're running around in the desert fighting a lot. And the 20% poison resist if you're fighting scorpions is nice. Now sandworm,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it really just depends because yes, if you're progressing slowly and you're struggling with poison, that you can't fix with either a antibiotic or the
the
green
purple
pill,
one.
for example, or purple. No, well, whichever
No, sorry,
is
poison is
poison.
green, green.
That's green. The green pill, then yeah, realistically, it's not a bad one, but it really depends what you have available. At some point, people would get a workshop armor set fairly soon, eventually. So, from
Not
there, it's
necessarily. I play with planet-side
yeah,
crafted armors. Just because I can put the attachments in, and I like to min-max my character, the 3 slot attachments. You can't do that on workshop armor. But for speedruns, workshop armor is still the best, definitely. However, uh, there aren't, relatively speaking, not a whole lot of people who play missions anymore. Most of them play open world. And in open world, you probably will end up with planet-side crafted armor anyway. So Sandworm and Scorpion armors have received improvements, but also some recipe changes to make them more in line with higher tier armor sets. Neither set will use fiber in the recipe anymore, being replaced by bone for the Sandworm armor and cured leather for the Scorpion armor. I got now some extra content. Great Hunts concept art wallpapers. Now in the lead up to Great Hunts, we wanted to share some of the amazing work coming out from the team in a slightly different style than we've done before. We've grabbed 3 high-res concept art pieces from our art director and formatted them for a desktop screensaver, so you can download them and get excited for the expansion alongside us. If you'd like to see more of this from us in the future, let us know in the comments. And let's have a quick look. Okay. I would have expected. Okay, here we go. Continue to external site. Let's just download all three of them and download and download and download. Whoa, that's some big sniper rifle there.
I do like it. I think
Oh yeah,
that's going to be interesting depending on the mechanics. There's an interesting creature in the background, though, just
it is a
ominously
great ape.
glowing.
After all, it is a great is great underscore ape 3 file name. So this is the great ape, which is in the background.
Okay.
Kind of goes with the whole swamp vibe there.
Mhm.
Alright. Oh, this must be the gauntlet, I reckon. And you do see a gauntlet, a quarite in the background there. Looking menacing, this guy, this prospector. And one with the ice mammoth. Oh, Arctic armor. And this looks, yeah, there must be a legendary weapon as well. So I would say sandworm bow? Or was it going to be a crossbow? I don't know anymore. And a nice ice mammoth in the background. And a prospector on the foreground with a smashed in helmet. Beware of the dog, basically.
Yep.
Right, next week we're getting some small pouches. Next week we're adding 3 new variations of our small pouches in red, green and blue. These can be crafted at tier 2, hold 6 items and will effectively reduce the amount of inventory space your resources take up.
A red, green, and blue, but it doesn't really specify what is stored in the red, green,
Yeah,
and blue.
it says 3 new variations. So not 3 new pouches, but 3 new variations of the pouches.
Okay, so you could color code them based upon what you want to put into them. Yes, that's fine, but it
Yep.
holds 6 items. So is it just
Uh,
free 6 item slots so you could stack infinite amounts of them and then you could just put
but
anything in
which
there and
kind of
put in
pouches are we
workspaces?
talking about? Like the medical pouch, the seed pouch? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That's my point.
Or is it
What
going
does
to
it
be
hold inside of
a
them?
generic expansion of your normal storage? Like, can you have one with some building pieces in, or some with some ammo in? And then, especially in the last case, if it holds ammo, can you reload your weapons directly from those pouches? Or would you need to move it between the pouch and your own inventory? In which case you could use it to store spare ammo. So get 1 stack of your inventory and 3 stacks or 4 stacks of especially the pistol bullets in the pouch. Doesn't really specify. But yeah, we'll have to wait for next week to see what kind of pouches we are talking about.
Indeed.
Now your support does make these updates possible. As usual, it's shown here the Icarus Patch bundle with creature comfort pack, you know, the extra food, water trough, saddles. Pet companions pack with more variations of dogs and cats and actual horses. Zebra rescue mission, also part of the pets bundle, which allows you to rescue some tamed zebras, so you can use a zebra as a mount. Or you just go for the dynamic bundle, complete the set, which basically includes everything you don't have yet. So if you want to support the developers in their quest to make the game better, feel free to get some or all of the DLCs. New content. But many Scorpion, Sandworm and Black Wolf crafted items with while shifting to tier 3. Increased damage, yield durability on knives and spears. Increased damage of arrows while reducing break chance. The cave room gear has been slightly buffed. Still easily accessible, but now mainly has a lot more durability, so it will be more comfortable to use. You don't want an armor set that breaks after 3 fights after all. Scorpion and Sandworm armor set crafting costs have been adjusted to use advanced leather and bone respectively, increase the resistances across the board. And Sandworm armor now grants additional poison resistance baseline plus desert health regen. It's basically what was mentioned earlier in the patch notes already. Now go to the fixes, a few. Swapped cave entrance in Olympus Cave 5, so it's open by default, you don't have to tunnel in. Update meshes and textures for the baby deer, including the carcass, along with updating the textures to be consistent. And never saw anything weird about the baby deer carcasses, but okay. Volume balance pass on a large land shark to make it not as intrusively loud within missions. It's a freaking land shark, it's big, it's menacing. It should sound very loud, but okay. More subtlety to the cave scanner audio to stop it from becoming annoying when beeping fast when a cave is found. Yeah, it is indeed. It becomes a tad annoying when you you have the direction towards the cave. Now you're running towards the cave with the cave scanner out, and constant beeping is going to be a bit annoying. So more subtle audio is good. A broken arrow mission fixed the out of range message being untranslatable. I assume this is as a mission, like you getting outside of the mission area, like before open world, certain missions only had certain parts of the map unlocked, and then when you cross the border you got this message on screen like out of bounds or something. Either that or something else. The broken arrow mission, out of range message. Or is this I don't know, if you like have to place a scanner, you have to stay within the vicinity of the scanner. If you get way too far, it's telling you like, hey, you're getting too far away, go back to continue the scanning. Not sure anymore. I don't have all the mission contents readily available. It might be the last one. Fix an issue with Blueprint 3 tooltip hovering, where the default recipes list was not being cleared properly between different blueprints. Oh, yeah, that's annoying. If you have to, like last week, they combined all the armor set pieces into one blueprint. You hover over it and it tells you the different items. Now if you switch from a building set with like 12 items to an armor set with 5 items, and you can still see the last 7 items from the building set, that's no good, so I'm glad I fixed that. And tag the water barrel as fillable.water to use dynamic water weight adjustment. Dynamic water weight adjustment, by the way, is being mentioned in future content. What this entails is, like, you have the 50 liter and the 150 liter water and biofuel tanks, right? We use them in the null sector. If they are empty, they have the same weight if they are full. They have now changed this. An empty one no longer weighs 150 kilos, but like 5 kilos, and then if you fill it up, it's gonna weigh like 155 or so, something to that extent. The weight is now dependent on the amount of content. This goes for also for like canteens and stuff, and water skins, etc. All these things which have content in it. Also things like the seed pouch, the ammo pouch, medical satchel, ammo pouch, the medical satchel and the seed pouch slash farmer satchel. An empty one weighs less than one with items in it. So it's more of a dynamic weight calculation. This is all partially mentioned in the future content here and partially what I gleaned from the Discord experimental channel. Now we go to the future content. A lot of work on the rock golem missions. Adding a new mission deployable that can be spawned to block AI spawning in caves and the surrounding area if needed. Too bad it's only a mission deployable, so most likely only for this mission. Because if you could use this to prevent cave worms from spawning, you can go safely into the cave and mine it out without having to worry about the cave worms. Having said that, on my solo open world, if I think I'm gonna spend a bit of time in like mining out a cave, I just kill the worms. If I just run into the cave to empty out drills, small caves I kill the worms, the larger caves I just grab a green pill, and then I can just run in and not pay any attention to the cave worms spitting at me. But yeah, deploy an item to block the spawn in caves. I mean, the humidifier at some point was set to block spawning in caves. I don't know whether or not you recall.
Yeah, I can't recall either. I mean, we barely used the dehumidifier in most instances. The only time I can recall was one mission where in the desert we put it in the cave at the bottom, but I'm not too familiar with, using that thing. I've never actually used AC. I've never used dehumidifiers myself, so yeah, it's...
Well, in some of my bases I go with the dehumidifier because it does not affect the temperature and it acts as a campfire for when you want to go to sleep. So you don't need to light a campfire, the dehumidifier is taking that function. And since it's not affecting the temperature, you can use it in whatever biome you're in. But I don't know anymore whether or not the dehumidifier indeed did block cave worm spawns. I actually never make a cave base, so. Two bullet points below. If obstructed, the ice mammoth will now do one stomp. If it's still obstructed, it will charge and destroy everything in front of it. This is to prevent building or hedgehog cheese.
Okay, cheesing at you.
Yeah, so I've seen people talk about this like on the closed beta branch. Ice mammoth, and you build a couple of walls around, and then he can't move, he can't get to you, and you can like kill him at your leisure. So
Yeah.
they did. This no longer works now.
Yeah. And they did update the legendary license exotic exchange to a purchase license button. So instead of calling it exchange, they're referring it to as a purchase.
Yeah.
So yes, so now that's also interesting because current new sort of wording is exchanging, you know, either Ren or purple exotics or red exotics to, is it exchanged into normal Ren or is it
This is a legendary
purchase?
license exotic exchange.
Yeah, because like I said, I think
So
previously I mentioned that they're going to be selling it,
yeah,
as in you can buy it for either
for
got purple or
probably
Ren or
exotics.
Exactly, but just why change the naming?
And
Because I can't recall what current naming convention is.
I don't think this is going to be the red exotics though. Because red exotics is
It
Prometheus
was
specific.
15,000 red. It was 15,000 ren,
20k,
and
15k, 20k.
that was 15k ren, and I think it was like 2,000 or something. Like I said, there was prices previously. You said there wouldn't be, uh, the ability to buy it. This confirms the fact that it
Yeah,
is, but why
unfortunately it is.
bother about the naming convention? That's the thing I'm pointing out because I can't
Yeah.
recall what the current naming convention is. Because if I'm not mistaken, it currently says exchange
Oh,
when you're
this.
moving.
Hold on. This is new functionality.
co-
Legendary license, which is not in the game yet. So you haven't seen it yet. It's not in the game yet. There is still the way of exchanging exotics, be it red or purple, for Ren. That has not changed. They added an option to exchange exotics for the legendary license, and it was previously called the legendary license exotic exchange, and the button is now called purchase license. This is how I read this. So nothing to do with the exchange exotics for Ren. Quickly going through the rock golem things to see if there's any extra interesting stuff there. Yeah, they added cave spawn blockers to the 3 caves, so the players only encounter the quest spawn creatures and not natural spawns. Thank you for that. It's the same as if you are fighting, for example, a sandworm, and then all of a sudden 25 scorpions, normal scorpions, pop up. Gonna make it extra hard.
Yep.
Anyway, let's see. Adding spider and web effects. Build up, release, projectile hit, descending strand and snare. I wonder whether or not they're gonna add some kind of arachnophobia setting. Let's see, a lot of work on the drones. Drones can now be hidden from without being attacked if the player runs during the drone's investigating state. So you can run away and it can't find you, and then it loses interest and you can continue. You don't have to kill all the drones. Let's see. Update license purchase button to show the REN cost. Yeah. Yeah, prices were in last week's patch notes, I believe. Adding a mini thumper. The animation blueprint, so it can add mini thumper audio. So basically we get a mini thumper as well. And I believe it is used to like bring out the rock golem or something. See, drone can no longer be stealth attacked. So if you do want to attack it, you have to like show yourself. Or at least if you attack it like it straight away knows it's no longer stealth. So the 2.5 times damage for the first shot, not gonna work on drones. Um, more drone stuff. Adding new events for cave wounded NPC. This has a unique voice and doesn't have any chance of saying the same thing over and over again. Good. Yeah, Rock Golem D2 mission. Adding mini thumper blueprint, recipe and items as a reward. And adding the new mission step to deploy and activate the mini thumper to take out the creature that destroyed the outpost in the first place. To take it out. Okay. Why? You no longer have to kill it yourself, you just deploy a mini thumper and that mini thumper is gonna take it out? Okay. Also add a new epic creature to the mission, so the land shark has additional stats and an increased difficulty. Cool.
Well, it'll be good if it's at least a little bit different from the regular one.
Yeah. The regular one, if you have a shotgun, is not too hard to kill.
Unless you're not willing to tank your performance because explosive shells destroy your
I do
game.
it with normal shells. The normal, the red ones. No problem. I kill it before it has time to dive back under, so. Let's see. Fixing central building pieces from being unlocked in the incorrect order on the tech tree. Unlock the roofs before you unlock the walls. Something, I don't know. The one above. Upping the number of required crop plots and beds, so it wasn't just one. We're establishing a mining base. Yeah, and whole mining team with only one crop plot and one bed. I can understand. Some more work on the drill arrows. Just expose the delivery interface to not block the hotbar. This is usable UI in this window. Yeah, you can carry exotics in your hotbar. And if the interface is blocking your hotbar, you can't drag it from your hotbar into the pod. So glad I fixed that. Oh, the Blood Moon pistol, the Black Wolf pistol, the reload time has been increased from 2.2 to 3.75 seconds. I wonder how far down you can bring that with the proper talent. Assuming talents work on the... I mean, it is a pistol, so it should work.
Yep.
And they were playing around with the talents for wood into sticks and leather into a rope.
Interesting.
So
What did they
you
do?
didn't have to unlock them via blueprint tree. Apparently that didn't work. Like only the talent and not the blueprint. Apparently that didn't work, so they reverted the change. The next one. Fixing armor stand audio being set to 2D and being heard from any distance.
Yes, so that's the loading between the distance, so we'll be able to sort of see that if we have to run back and forth once again.
Yeah. I put it in the Discord as like, hey, this is a problem here. Put it down the 15th and like within a day, the dev said, hey, thanks for the heads up, just sorted this. So yeah, the same as what we had with the contact device initially. You get within 1,000 meters of the base, you get the lag and the audio, which is being multiplied by the armor stands because you have like multiple armor stands and you generally only have one contact device. So I'm glad I fixed that. It's not a big issue, but it is annoying. So yeah, glad I fixed that.
Yep.
Applying directional filtering and volume adjustments for the two downed NPCs in the mission E cave. This helps avoid the player hearing too much groaning when in between the two NPCs. Yeah. Let's see. Adding a unique sniper rifle bullet load audio.
I would expect it to be a unique sound if it looks as badass as the image indicates, because it should be a very heavy locking bolt sound, basically.
Yeah.
So
bigger
It
bigger
should be
rounds and everything.
exactly.
Hmm. Quick fix for the rock golem mission E to stop the pod from flying back to space after deploying biofuel and water, leaving that part of the mission in an incomplete state. So I assume you're gonna need to add more, and that's how I read this. You need to add like multiple items, but if you did the water and the biofuel, then it was only checking for those two items, like, hey, it's there, good, I'm gonna take off, and then you hadn't put in the other items yet. Yeah, okay, you have you can now restart this mission. I'm glad they fixed that. Great Hun's device to the contact device field guide set page. Good. Ape fight reduced difficulty HP scaling by about 20%. Apparently it was a bit too hard now. I mean, there's hard and there's hard, obviously, but here, in items that can be filled with water or biofuel, now take the number of stored units into their weight calculation. With this, both the large portable tanks, water and biofuel, have had their weight reduced down to 5 kilos. When full with water or biofuel, they will be 155 kilos. Items affected are jerrycans, portable tanks, canteens, bladders, etc. And fixing small pouches so they now have weight when things are placed inside. So yeah, I like that. So before, if you had this portable tank, even when empty, weigh 150 kilo, you put it on your back, you're like instantly over encumbered.
Yep, as it should be.
Not really. The weight of the tank itself is only 5 kilos. The other
Oh,
150
yeah.
is
So when it's full,
the
are what I
liquid.
meant.
Yeah. When you're full,
Yes.
okay, sure. And now it's 155 kilos when it's full instead of 150. But it's 5
Yep.
kilos when empty instead of 150. So I like these changes.
Yep, dude.
Let's see. Nerf extra damage and wounds chance for the enraged great ape. Making things a little bit easier for the player again. And further nerf the great ape health for single players only. Yeah, I think a lot of these creatures are going to be quite tough to do solo. I mean, we have done the Hammerhead Slug with the three of us and it was hard already. Imagine if you have to do it on your own. So from that point of view, I'm a tad glad they nerfed at least the great ape health for single players. Ape fight reverted the change in scaled health and reduced base health by 20%. Scaled health, I think, is the more players are there, the more health the great ape is gonna have, like difficulty scaling.
Would
So
help. Yep.
they reverted the change in the scaled part for its health, but his base health itself is reduced by 20%. So it's gonna make things easier, I think, for bigger groups. I don't know. Or harder. I would say make it harder for groups, easier for solo. Yeah, the reduced base health by 20%. That's definitely helpful for single player. We had a question. How what?
None.
Okay. Well, I'd say those were the patch notes.
Perfect.
So we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go for a quick smoke, and then we can start our gameplay. Question is, we can either start our standard co-op, but then we can't test anything, of these changes, or we start my multiplayer Prometheus open world, the big one, where we should be able to test out some of this new stuff. Which one do you prefer?
I am not one to do testing usually,
Okay,
so unless
then we
there
go
is a
do our
purpose to the gameplay, yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
Then we're
that's
gonna do the
personally
co-op
speaking.
open world, and then I'll
Yeah.
have a look tomorrow to do some testing.
Well, the testing is obviously the durability, which were, you know, all the new changes towards all the
Yeah,
legendary
check it
items,
out and
and
actually craft the stuff. On my
sure,
solo open world, I do have cave worm and like wolf stuff anyway, so
yeah,
yeah. Okay, then we'll do co-op and we'll do testing. I'll do testing tomorrow.
sounds
So
good.
that means I'm gonna end this here stream and we will be back in say 10 minutes for a gameplay. Does that sound good to you?
Yes, indeed.
Alrighty. Let me mute out for the stream outro. So yeah, as I said, these were the patch notes of this week. Uh, we are gonna take a 10-minute break and then I will be back with a new stream in which we will continue our Prometheus open world, co-op open world, null sector missions. So I hope you folks had enjoyed us going through the patch notes. If you did enjoy and want to get notified next time I stream, i.e. in 10 minutes, feel free to hit that follow button, or if you watch this on YouTube and you want to get notified next time I upload something, feel free to hit that subscribe button. A like would be appreciated as well. Other than that, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a good time, and I hope I will see you for the next stream.